Okay, so let's summarize what we've talked about 95% confidence intervals for means so far. So if I pick a sample size n random from a normal distribution with unknown mean and known variance, then 95% confidence interval for mu, the population mean, we can get by calculating the mean of our sample and then going 1.96 times the standard error. That's what the sigma over square root of n is. So sigma is the standard deviation of the population. That's going to give me the lower estimate for my interval. By adding 1.96 times the standard error, that's going to give me the upper limit for my interval. And then that resulting interval is going to have a 95% chance of actually containing the true value of mu. So let's kind of see what that looks like over here. So this plot I got by running the rest of the code from that Raspberry Beret file, for example. And so each of these green, so in the middle here is the actual mean length of all words in the song Raspberry Beret. So it's a little bit less than 4. And I created 100 different samples, each size 30. So from each of those samples, I created a confidence interval by going 1.96 times the standard error above and below that mean. And so out of the 100 samples that I picked, most of them were green. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them didn't work. So this was successful 94 out of the 100 samples that I picked. So that's pretty close to hitting exactly that 95% confidence interval. So if we draw tons and tons of random samples, all the same size from the same population, and compute this 95% confidence interval by going this distance 1.96 times the standard error above and below, that is going to be successful 95% of the time. So we're going to get 95% of the time a green bar that does contain this value. And every so often, even when we pick randomly, we just wind up getting samples that are a little bit biased and are going to miss containing this middle value. So the bullseye here is the population mean. That's the same for all of these intervals. And what changes each time we construct the confidence interval is the sample mean that we start with, the sample mean that we center our estimate around.